Most of you have probably heard of these so-called effect layouts, either from YouTube or somewhere in GD. Recently, they have been gaining popularity at an extreme rate and are starting to get more and more popular as the days pass. However, this isn't all cool and okay. Although a lot of them are cool, like Aleph Noah and some other ones, a lot of them are starting to become not effect layouts, but rather a level that forgot to add block decor. This is starting to cause a new trend in the community, which it may lead to become the new generic, as more and more of them start to appear, which motivates people to build them, especially when they get featured on big GD channels. So today I have decided to make a video addressing this issue, as a lot of people do not understand why these levels can harm the GD and could become the new generic, as well as trying to offer some solutions. So hope you enjoy. First of all, we have to define what an effect layout is, so we can understand what levels we're looking at. An effect layout is basically a layout with effects. Yes, I know it isn't the best explanation, but let's take an example. Let's say you have made a layout. It is only considered a layout for now, as there's no deco or anything. If you add any sort of effects around the whole level actually, then it becomes classified as an effect layout. So yeah, that is an effect layout. They can be pretty cool sometimes, they do take more effort than layouts as well. So what is the problem? Well, if you think about it, they aren't all that special. Sure, some of them are cool and satisfying to watch, but most of the time they just have some normal effects, and since it features a lot of movement, it makes the illusion that it actually is amazing. In fact, a lot of these effects are pretty easy to make. Sure, they take time, but why don't you use that time to make a proper level instead of a layout with just some effects on top? But why blame the creators? They put effort, they have fun making them, and after all, it's cool to see something different than just a glow level in the featured section. Well, think again. These layouts are becoming more and more common by the day, and more creators are motivated to build them, and turn around and actually making a proper decorated level, and if they did, let me say, I'm pretty sure it would be amazing. It's kinda sad that all this potential is wasted on a layout that has some effects on top. It has so much potential. You may think by now that this isn't much of a problem, as it's just people making a layout. At least they aren't getting much attention and not getting it rated. Well, here's where my biggest problem arises. You see, if you make a so-called good effect layout, you have an extremely high chance of getting featured on a big channel. The main creator doing this is Mulpan. Mulpan for a long time has loved these layouts. If you go to his channel, there's a high chance you stumble upon one. As I said, at first it seems cool, and a good thing he's doing it. He's giving attention to the creators that made it and helps them grow. However, when this is done a lot, especially when a lot of unknown sources are played, it gives a thought to a person. If I make one, it will be played by Mulpan, I'll get a lot of attention. See where I'm coming from? The thought, in my opinion, when making a level is the most important thing. You should always be thinking of the quality when making a level, not the attention you will get. After all, I think effort is the most important skill a creator must have, and I know it sounds weird to state it as a skill, but to me nowadays it kind of is. I do think these effect layouts were fun at first. They were unique and were different, like Aleph Noah. However, they started looking pretty similar, and if you aren't convinced, here's an example. To be honest, they're getting boring and are starting to become a big trend, and I think it needs to calm down. Basically, if more continue, it will become like the new generic. Now that is the big problems, but how can we fix this? Are there any solutions? The problem, to be honest, is started not by the people making the levels, but the people featuring them. Mulpan has been showcasing them for such a long time, and that is almost guaranteed. If your effect layout is good and is played by him, he will show it on his channel. Another thing is that some of them are being rated, which shouldn't happen in my opinion unless they're really unique, but there aren't as many, so I think RobTop is good for now. However, I think this could be sort of slowed down if they stop being showcased by big GD channels, so people don't find it as a free attention method or something along the lines like that. So since Mulpan really likes these, he could either comment on the actual level or only showcase the best ones, which deserve attention. So whenever we see one of them, they would be a lot more interesting to watch. If they were showcased less, they would start slowing down, as if the reasoning for making them would be significantly lower, hence making people not find an exact reason to make them in the first place, just being made for fun. This would not only lower the amount of them, but when one is released, the quality would be higher, since it would actually be made because you had fun and put more effort in them. My last solution is to have a sort of standard to them. A lot of them showcased are cool, but I think only the very best should be showcased. Viper has done a pretty good job at this and hasn't showcased many in the past, and has showcased higher quality effect layouts. Anyways, that is basically the solutions I have. In short words, I think the big challenge should start slowing down on the showcase of the levels, as they do give them a huge amount of attention and people start forgetting the potential they have if they were actual levels. So in conclusion, effect layouts are getting a bit too popular. Many more are being made and most of them are low effort levels, and creators have the thought in mind the attention they would get, and not so much the quality. Of course, this doesn't go for all creators, as I said. I can't really understand the minds of a creator, but I do think a lot of them are for that. Anyways, I hope people start taking some of these points into consideration, and I hope you learn why they're overrated. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing if you enjoyed. Anyways, have a nice day, and goodbye!